What's going on? This is the man of the hour, Leo Rush, and you are now listening to Matt Madness Podcast.
Hey, yo. Survey says the Matt Madness Wrestling Podcast is back after a short hiatus. We would like to start on the St. Patrick's Eve, crack one open for a day after 316, and a swig for the bad guy. May he rest in peace.
Definitely
as
rest
all
in
bad
peace.
guys should. This past week, we lost the beloved Scott Hall. So this podcast, I'm sure we're going to have some mentions, some references, or maybe a couple Easter eggs paying good old homage to the bad guy. We haven't been on the show since Revolution, so we're going to have a little bit of chatter. And we're going to start with Revolution actually right now. Aaron, what was your thoughts on the show?
Well, for a rating, I'll give it a showstopper. A lot of it I forgot. a lot of my content because we didn't record last week because of some circumstances. But I thought it was a really good show. I really did enjoy it. I think that might have been the best AEW show they put on, and the one that I enjoyed personally the most because a lot of it was actually more story driven than anything. And we talked about a lot of things, especially like Jurassic Express not being like they're forgettable tag team champions, but they damn sure made you remember that night. And that was an excellent match. I thought that was really good. CM Punk and MJF match of the night, excellent match. MJF and Punk, they killed it. Definitely,
we'll be talking about that match for years to come.
Definitely a rivalry and match of the year candidate going forward throughout 2022. And like the main event we talked about, we weren't interested in that at all that much. But I thought that was even still a pretty good match. And the match I was looking forward to the most, Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley, it kind of went. It was like a match of respect. Even like the way it ended with the roll up with the submission lock in at the same time. I thought it was like the perfect kind of way to end that match. And then kind of like so both guys don't look too bad. And the whole William Regal thing at the end, I thought that was great because when I first saw it, I was like, this actually works. And with William Regal debuting in AEW, we're so used to him being a comedic character, but he, as we all know, he has so much more range. And watching him on Dynamite and Rampage last week, what was the guy that he was with this week that he slapped in the face?
Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah, Wheeler Yuta. Watching him interact with Wheeler Yuta at post-match, I thought that was really good. And just like that works together. I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. The women's title match, I thought was good. I thought they built up the history a little bit. I thought it was a little too long, but I thought the end portion really worked. But once again, we didn't do a show last week, so we now have a new AEW Women's World Champion, Thunder Rosa. And for Prep wants me to say this, the lesbians, Jade Cargill and Ty Conti, something I never knew I needed, but I do. I thought Jade Cargill, that was probably her best match to date. I think she looks like a star. We don't talk about her enough on this show. But like the whole presentation of her, she had her entrance performed. We always saw her presentation is a big deal, but like she just looked like a star as she came out. And I definitely did enjoy that match. Yeah, she is. She is money. But I really did enjoy the show. I do think that was AEW's best show to date, for me personally, because everything was more storyline driven, not everything was thrown together.
Quick question, and again, since we didn't review this or even chatter much about it through text or phone calls, were you watching live? Did you watch it hours?
I watched after the fact. I watched it after.
Did you know about William Regal showing up due to social media,
yeah.
Or did you see that?
I knew.
Okay, so watching it live, I'll tell you what. I don't know if I'm going to say this is my favorite / the best AEW pay-per-view because I'm a mark for Jacksonville. I think they haven't done a bad pay-per-view, and I do feel like it's one of those great companies that every time there's a pay-per-view, it's like, that might have been the best one yet. I love the show. I loved the buy-in. The buy-in to the main event, everything hit to me. My rating, definitely showstopper. But the William Regal spot, that might have been one of the biggest pops of the night because it genuinely was like the big surprise, and it was nothing. Nobody saw that on the radar, so it was a great moment to watch live.
So you why am I asking? You just said a showstopper. I'm sorry, but
yeah, I'm definitely going to showstopper.
But like even like the MJF CM Punk stuff, I'm not a big like like dog collar or strap match or like anything when you're linked together. I've never really been much of a fan because I've seen the WWE version. WWE did it sparingly. The best one they probably did was Eddie and JBL at Judgment Day 04. That's probably the best one they actually ever done themselves. But
I've always heard that one be acclaimed, but again, that was like I think I was like just freshly out the door. So
that's an excellent match. That's an excellent match.
Quick question before you change topics, Ornette. Now, because your memory, you'll answer this better. But is it just me, or don't you feel like strap match / dog collar match was always kind of like treated as like a mid card stipulation in WWE?
Well, they didn't do it a lot, and when they did do it, it wasn't always that great. One I can remember that I know that wasn't really that good was Unforgiven 2000. It was King and Taz. That's when Raven debuted in WWF. And
King and Taz?
King and Taz. And that's when Raven debuted in WWF. And then the next year at Judgment Day 01, they did Triple H and Kane in a chain match, which I really think was good. That was a good match. I did enjoy that match. But yeah, but it wasn't always something they always threw out there. So it was kind of it was special, but me as a kid, I was just like, I don't really care about this, nothing too crazy. But then you see Judgment Day 04 with Eddie and JBL, and they kind of hit on the lineage of those strap matches, how it's an old school thing. And that JBL Eddie Guerrero match, it captured the old school feel because Eddie Guerrero, I'm sure you've seen the pictures, Eddie Guerrero has like a crimson mask, it's a bloodbath, and MJF and CM Punk had that bloodbath. So when you have those matches, that's kind of something that it has to be.
Heck yeah. And talking about that match, so I know you probably saw the spoiler from social media. You and I both, not huge Ring of Honor marks, weren't watching it live in the mid 2000s. Did you know? And again, I don't know. You probably saw it. Like, so, I'll say I was fortunate to be watching this with Richie because I think it's like the second chord of the song, and he's like, "Oh shit," because he was already like, "What's the point of MJF?" Like literally, it was beautiful storytelling because Richie's reacting. He's like, "What's the point of MJF like playing Punk's music, stopping it, and then coming out?" It's like. He teased the crowd, comes and like Cult of Personality cut off. Then you're waiting to hear Cult of Personality. Then we get the AFI track. So I'm fortunate that I was watching with Richie because he got to break down. This is his Ring of Honor music, and he comes out in the Ring of Honor drip. I don't care if I never watched Ring of Honor or not. When Punk was live doing that, you can appreciate that once you see the gear. The storytelling of the match, beautiful. The entrance, great. I love that it was a one-off entrance because you have Cult of Personality play when Punk goes over. That match, that might not, like, I don't know. It's really got to be something I think like a year from now, like Revolution 2023, we might talk about it. Like, I think that might be Money in the Bank 2011 Punk vibe. Like, I think that's
really
what that match you talk about. I don't know. The match was good. It was really good. I vaguely, like, I think, like, the only thing I remember from Cody and Brody, and I feel like I need to rewatch that.
They had a strap. They had a strap match. Well, they did it. You're right. They did have a dog collar match.
There's two things to remember. It's Cody's only AEW match with black hair. And
that's when he won title back. Okay.
And it's when he wins the title back. But there's nothing else to really take it from it. Like, he had black hair, he wins the title, and he comes back blonde like a week later. But I thought the match was great. My thoughts of it all, like everything was enjoyable. You kind of alluded to it. Do you have anything specifically you want to mention else about Revolution before I kind of turn it a little bit?
No, I think I got everything out. Oh, by the way, one more thing. You talked about the ladder match when you started naming the guys on the card and how Orange Cassidy didn't belong. By God, that man belonged. Like, it was perfect. It was perfect. I could not stop laughing. He played his role perfectly because he legit played the odd man out, and I loved it.
What about that move where like he did like the Shawn Michaels Royal Rumble spot, like flipped himself over the rope, but he flipped his full body over the ladder, like
incredible
athleticism,
incredible,
bar none. I do want to say I've been thinking about it for like the past 72 hours for the show. I said in our prediction for Revolution, whoever goes into now again, I was skipping over. I don't think I mentioned on the show. you have whoever's winning, they get a TNT title match, but we didn't know Scorpio Sky would be challenging. I said in my prediction, I think Wardlow's going to win, but whoever wins has to win the TNT title. I anticipated whoever wins is facing Sammy. Again, everything on the show, I thought it was awesome. One of the big points, you thought the women's title match went a little too long last night. A beautiful
I haven't
cage
seen it
match.
last night. Yeah.
I was pretty fired up because it was 316 day. When we're done recording, I'm going to rewatch it because I watched a bunch of clips of some stuff, and I literally, halfway through it, my vision's a little blurry. I'm like, I'm going to be rewatching this match this week, probably twice.
Yeah, because if we recorded the show last week, I was going to predict Thunder Rosa was going to win because that was the anniversary of St. Patty's Day.
Yes.
Lights out match.
I think most people. And another thing that's beautiful about that lights out match, that due to the Matt Madness podcast putting that match over and over and over, it has won so many accolades and magazines and other articles. We really brought it to the forefront. But that match a year ago, Thunder Rosa wasn't even signed with AEW, so it's a beautiful thing. She was, still an NWA wrestler at the time, had that amazing match, once in a lifetime match. A year later, the third AEW cage match. None of their cage matches have disappointed. We get her holding the new design of the AEW women's title. Beautiful belt, beautiful match, two beautiful women, and Thunder Rosa's entrance. I mean, her entrance comes out, and I'm shooting pool with Dan, and I'm like, well, we got a new champion, beautiful entrance. I was like, and she's going to be bloody and crying by the end of it, and that's what we got. Those two put on a beautiful match. Speaking of new champions, big shout out last week, Scorpio Sky beat Sammy Guevara, won the TNT title. Generous enough, gave his coach the second belt so he can go put it in his championship collection.
He wore it to the ring. Wait, did he wear it to the ring too?
So,
or was that Scorpio Sky's bike?
I think that was Scorpio Sky. So
okay.
I pointed that out, but I'm pretty sure he threw his. If you don't know, Dan Lambert is a huge belt mark, and he has dozens and dozens of ring-worn belts at his MMA gym. So that's super dope that Scorpio Sky gave him the other one. And I actually love that he put that out on social media. He said, I'm not going to be carrying two belts. I'm going to get Dan Lambert due to, all his work he's done for him. So once I saw that, I thought it was kind of, all right, if he's defending the belt next week against Wardlow, MJF's going to screw him over. I think similar to the good prediction with Thunder Rosa going over at the year anniversary, that's exactly what we got. MJF and the chairman, Sean Spears, screwing over Wardlow, also with the help of Paige Van Zandt and Paige Van Zandt's boyfriend. Good match. And also, you didn't catch Dynamite.
Well, I saw I saw the clip on YouTube of what happened, and I thought it was a great way to do it because, well, first of all, Wardlow, I'm not sure if he cut a promo on Dynamite or Rampage last week. I saw that. I thought it was a great promo. I think he's really well spoken. Promo wasn't
hell of a promo.
Yeah, it was good promo. Really well spoken person. I was like, oh, really, that was actually pretty good. And then watching how the match fell out on Dynamite, I was like, oh, that's actually pretty clever. The fact that Wardlow was the paid help and MJF paid off Dan Lambert and was it America's Top Team? Is that what they're called?
America's Top Team.
Yeah, he paid off Dan Lambert and America's Top Team to take out Wardlow. I thought that was actually pretty clever because that's what Wardlow was paid off to do.
Yeah, I love it. MJF has always been kind of in storylines involving money. A smart thing, he had Andrade paying him to use FTR.
Okay.
But speaking of FTR, there's a lot going on in AEW. FTR just fired Tully Blanchard. FTR didn't come out and help MJF.
They didn't.
So the Pinnacle really shattered. Is FTR still with MJF? That is something only time will tell. He may only have Sean Spears as his muscle for the time being. But Dynamite again this week is one of those. It's a jam-packed show, and it was entertaining from start to finish. Good matches. I'm not really going to get into the whole card of it. I'm looking forward to seeing. Obviously, we're still got something going on with the two Adams, Adam Cole and Hangman Page. I'm guessing we're going to see some type of rematch coming down the line, whether it be on a Rampage or Dynamite. Not sure, but we're either going to get through that and then hopefully see a new challenger for Hangman if the title doesn't change. Any other thoughts for AEW? Oh, well, keeping AEW wise, for their Fan Fest figure reveals. Any standouts for you? Anything that you know is a must-have? I know you're not a big completist as much as I am with the Unrivaled set.
Yeah, so like I said, me and you, we are on two different ends of the spectrum on some of these figures. So for me, like one thing I did appreciate was that the CM Punk that's coming out. We kept joking at All Out that he skipped leg day, and that figure looks like he did skip leg day. So I'm definitely going to get that. I thought Jade came out way better than I expected because I wasn't sure how they're going to get, because she has that nice figure and the abs, and I wasn't sure how they were going to actually capture all that, and I thought they actually did a really good job on hers. So her figure is something I'll probably get as well. I think a lot, like the Supreme line, before I move forward, the Supreme line, game changer, and it's only, I believe the price point's only at $40, and you get the extra legs to swap out, so you can have ring gear and street gear. The Britt Baker, in the Britt Baker and the Cody, they were both hand painted, so they're not the final product. So if they did look a little rough, I'm undecided if I'm gonna get the Supreme or Britt Baker's next unmatched or unrivaled figure, because I prefer the Scott Hall gear versus the Pittsburgh gear, but the Supreme is going to be able to do the DMD pose because they'll have the swappable arms out. So I'm not sure which one I'm going to get, but I'm pretty sure if the unmatched or unrivaled one doesn't have the arm out, I'll probably just get the Supreme.
And I think some of the Supremes are going to be two different ring attires.
Yeah, well, Malachi's is, but I know Britt has the Britsburg jacket, and she comes with like a Britsburg shirt, and it comes with like a pants with heels. And Cody has extra couple T-shirts, and like I said, I think the Scott Hall inspired gear is better. But if I can,
that's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
obviously another homage, another swig for the bad guy.
Yeah, so that one's definitely better. But if I can get the whole outfit with the DMD pose with the vest on, I'll probably get that. Taz looked rough. Eddie Kingston looked rough. Mind you, I'm not sure if those were hand-painted prototypes. I didn't look into those all the way.
I'm cool with Taz because, let's be real, Taz looks rough modern day. If it's a modern day Taz, like, does it look like, can you not, like, when you say, like, it's not flattering, but it does look like him.
I'll say this. When I go bald, that's me. That figure's me. Just make it a few inches taller.
I do think a lot of them are hand painted. My big issue with the Eddie Kingston is his hair is way too dark. That has to be fixed. Well,
the Bryan Danielson would look great from the proto images. That looked good, and the Brody in -1 2-pack. I didn't pre-order it yet. I'm undecided what I'm doing with the Brody because I wanted the vest, but it's not soft goods. You know, I hate those rough.
I've actually
the rubber jackets.
Bring that up with you. I feel like Cardona is always putting over the rubbers, and I'm like, because I guess their theory is soft goods is too much like a doll, but yeah, I'm definitely, I don't know.
Yeah, because he doesn't pose his figures; they just stand up. Like me, I like to pose them in like their signature poses. That's what I like to do. So the rubber is...
Sorry if I want to do a move while they're in their entrance gear. Or pose them how they would be.
Yeah, exactly. So like it comes with the hands out, palms. So I was like, but then it's the same exact figure except for the robe. So I'm not sure which one I'm going to get. I'll probably just get the unmatched one. I could probably live without the robe. Go ahead.
Real quick before you keep running with it, Ultimate Series 2 along with Malachi is Kenny. And it's two different rings.
That looked good. Kenny looked good. Like that I would get. Kenny looked good. And then everybody else, it seems to be a lot of repaints. And as you know, I'm not big on everybody in AEW, and especially with all these repaints. A lot of them, they're not really different face scans either. So it's not much for me to actually want. But I said, I'll buy Britt Baker figures all the time. I'll buy Cody figures all the time. Kenny is somebody who Kenny actually changes his look, so it actually works. So that Supreme Kenny, I will get. But I thought it was a good weekend. But Punk, Britt, the Cody, not the I'm not gonna buy, but the trench coat Cody, perfect. The suit Cody, whatever it was, perfect.
Oh yeah, love it.
I'm not gonna get it, but it was good. But I thought it was a mediocre.
You just said Cody's, I'm gonna buy him. So that Cody, I mean, to me, unfortunately, the Star Trek chase will always be out of reach. But I'm in the major flea right now. I want to trade for the second chase, aka his first figure with the neck tat. I need it.
Yeah, but it's always good to have reveals. But like I said, even this Brody right here, like I said, like it has the arms out because the unmatched figure doesn't have the hands. I'm not sure you can see it. The unmatched figure doesn't have the hands like that, so I can't pose it like that as I want to. But it's the same figure with the coat. But I don't know. I'm up in the air.
So,
you get a lot of accessories with it though. I give him that.
What was the price point? $60?
Yeah, it was $60.
$60, man. I don't know.
$70 after shipping.
Yeah, it's really hard to stomach that.
Yeah.
So if I'm correct, a lot of people I know are saying it's the same figure. I think it technically is different. I think the words. Oh wait. I think the words down the side of the pants. I thought they were different, but now I'm re-looking at it. Maybe they're not. Oh no, hold on. Yeah, maybe they're not. And it does come with the belt. I thought it didn't come.
No, all the stuff's packed on the side, so we get. Okay. I know you get the belt.
Yeah, I'm seeing the picture now.
Okay.
So it's one of those things. I mean, I've gotten all the ringside exclusive except for Jurassic Express because, yeah, I don't know. There's not enough meat on the bone on that one for me. I really want this one. I think it's super dope. I feel like this negative one's going to be better than the SummerSlam Dominic as a child.
You can have them face off.
Yeah, that's in a ladder match. And you just dangle up one of those WWE contracts that came with the Rousey thing. I don't know. So the thing I like is I've been saying it for many, many, many months on this show. I plan on when it comes to the common figures outside of the chases, 1 through 10, I plan on being a completist. We got a reveal on what set 11 is. So for a lot of these, I know, like, hey, I want them. Like, hey, so I guess I'm ending up with a second Miro, or, I mean, I could let the blonde one go. I do like this one because it has the strap tights, which I thought were dope. Oh, and a big thing, we've got, now Taz is the only manager / commentator that we're getting a figure of thus far. Obviously, there's the referee. We got the Aubrey one, but a ton of street gear. We got Cody in the suit, street gear. We got Kenny in world champion Kenny attire. 2 other ones.
In the major power, was talking about this too, and they'll have like the full articulation.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, because WWE typically street closes was always basic, except for a few legends. Oh my God, the Thunder Rosa chase. I'm getting like that. I'm saying right now, I'm gonna end up with that. So yeah, I'm happy to see because that's 9. That's the current pre-order. Brian Cage, who knows what's happened with him? It looks like he did get the year extension on his contract, so I'd be happy to get a figure of him. Series 9's awesome because it's a rare set. It's 9 new figures, 9 people that are not in the line. Hangman street gear.
You need that.
For prep that says that looks like Tangerine, Cloudy, and Cumbersome. Oh man, that's an X25 figure. We gotta change that. Jericho, the old school Jericho. But so what's your take? So you're saying you're getting the Punk? You're cool with getting Punk in tights?
Yeah, because the one thing about him is he's changed his gears up, so it won't be the same. Like I said, like all the MJFs are going to be the same. I'm not buying another MJF until they put him in a suit.
Makes sense.
Because I don't like the rubber robes. So until they put him in a suit, I'm not going to buy another one.
I'm furious. All right, so before we get off the reveals, everything I think is dope. Obviously, anything I see or hear that's unrivaled 1 through 10, gotta get it. There's some unmatched. I can get selected with unmatched. Doesn't seem like I have yet. But for the blood and guts, we got now Santana and Ortiz are not pictured, but Shawn Spears gets his first figure. You got all 5 of the Pinnacle members are going to come in white. I don't think FTR is pictured, but yeah, they're not pictured. Santana and Ortiz is not pictured, but you can anticipate they're going to be in that gear.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the Inner Circle all in the prison gear. Thoughts on those figs? Do nothing for you. Move no needle.
Move no needle.
Nope.
Because every time I go to Target now. Every time I go to Target now, I see Santana and Ortiz, and I see it doesn't matter either. No, I see both sets on the pegs.
Yeah, true. So I know I got their new unmatched ones, but I like them. It was a great tag team. Can't wait to see them. I hope they keep getting a push after this Inner Circle 2.0 storyline. Hopefully, we see them in the world tag title picture sooner than later.
And we have WWE Elite reveals tomorrow, I believe. No, Saturday. Or is it tomorrow and Saturday? It's one either tomorrow or Saturday.
Man, Fig's killing me for life.
But you have to anticipate MJF and Punk being the next Blood and Guts.
Oh, for sure. And that's the blood and guts, I think that's the only. I'm not, obviously I said I didn't do the Jurassic Express ringside exclusive. The Blood and Guts, they're a 2-cop for me. I'm going to keep one of each of them on.
Really?
Those sets are so different to me. Yeah, I love those. So I really look forward to them. I'm trying to see the render. I don't know if the render, because I remember getting mixed up with Shawn Spears thinking it was Max, but I heard the Max Blood and Guts gear get a little crapped on because I'm probably gonna want to complete those 2 sets because it's just cool to me. You can have 5-on-5.
Yeah. You have to complete the sets. If you can't just get one if it's a matching set.
I just hate. I don't want to. And just what you said. This is the one guy I don't want another MJF because his Series 2 figure cool. To me, the Chase isn't cool because you have Burberry scarf and then he has the AEW shop scarf in the Chase, which to me is whack. I think it's Series 6, the other one where I don't know if he even has a scarf. I'm
not sure. I would think he would have to come with a scarf. I don't remember. Now you think about it, I don't know. I don't remember.
He may come with a scarf. There's something missing to that one to me. But Series 2 is better than whatever his second figure was. And I can't remember if he had a Chase in that line or not, but obviously didn't do that Chase. So then we have his unmatched figure. I did get it because I thought it was cool that it came with a robe because it's different. I'm a little weary on how my feelings are on the robe and how it sits, but I got his Chase figure as well. The Chase was a must-have. I almost want that mock. I haven't opened it yet. I've been saying since I got it in my hand, I was like, I'm gonna find this in the wild since I paid street value. So if I have I have 4 MJFs. I do not want another one. So I potentially am gonna be at 6 street gear, or I'm sorry, a suit, and then the Blood and Guts one. I leave them out 10 series, or keep putting them in, and that's gonna make it easy for me to skip someone.
Yeah, but definitely, let's say if you get a match, if they all match, you need the whole set. You can't just
for sure
buy a couple.
I'm a junkie. I'm definitely going to be complete
for sure.
So outside of the reveals, since we've been missing so much, another swig for the bad guy. This for Razor. One more swig for Scott. All right. So, Mania card's building up. You got any thoughts on predictions or anything on there? Anything you want to Mania chat or anything going on in New York?
Well, this Stone Cold and Kevin Owens thing, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be so much fun because Kevin Owens is probably the best he's actually been in years at this point because he actually has some substance and he's actually being a heel again. And that triple threat tag match a couple weeks ago, last week on Raw, was amazing. I'm not sure if you caught it, but
I did.
Even the ending was perfect. With Rollins hit with on the stunner and then the curb stop, perfect. And the way they lost, absolutely perfect. And they were so distraught.
Post promos and then the facials from Rollins and Owens were great. Orton, I've been up and down, or RK Bro. Orton's promo after, I'm hook, line, and sinker.
love it. Like
hook, line, and sinker.
Loved it. And the thing with this whole thing is like they kept saying, were they going to get Austin for WrestleMania? Was he going to wrestle a match? And I'm not sure if I heard this correctly, but I could have sworn Owen said that this is going to main event night 1. If I'm correct, I'm not 100% sure. I might be wrong. But I do think...
No, Ronda and Charlotte are main event.
I would think that. I would think that too, but maybe I misheard him. So don't quote me on
you did.
That.
I hope you're right, with all due respect to the ladies, but
this match, I think this is going to turn into an impromptu match, somewhat like The Rock and Eric Rowan, and I just think Owens is just going to job out. And there's nobody more perfect to just take an ass whooping and job out than Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens, he's not going to lose anything by just getting his ass kicked and jobbed out, because he's getting his comeuppance the entire time.
All right, so I thought that. And I'm going to be a hardcore mark. I don't think that's what's going to happen.
I'm not going to argue with you, but just the thought of just, no matter what, Austin's going to destroy Owens. That's just going to happen no matter what.
I guess
the problem is, will it turn into a match? That's the only thing.
Here's my thought and question about it. So, Rowan got squashed by The Rock, but The Rock was under like 17 movie contracts and couldn't compete in a match. So they gave that to pop the crowd. Mm-hmm. It wasn't announced, it wasn't advertised, it was a spontaneous thing. So The Rock also is not retired. You know, we could see him in a program with Roman next year or before that. I'm putting this in the Saudi Shawn Michaels category. All right? Asked me when we started this show, I wanted both those guys to have one more match. That Saudi stuff came about. Does it hurt Shawn's legacy? And now, like, Shawn and Austin are the only two guys now. Again, Taker, but who knows, he can come back. They're the only two guys that retired and stayed away. Shawn came back. So I think this is going to turn into a match. And if it's going to, I don't want the same way we got what we got with The Rock. It's going to be fun. I'm marking out. I'm marking out here. I'm drinking the man's beer right now. If he goes in, I want a 10-minute match.
Oh, no. This would be like less than a minute. Because I just think that he's going to just punch Owens into the corner, stomp him into the corner to what chance, and then give him a finger and stun him. It's legit job that Owens gets no offense in. Because it's just the perfect comeuppance. Now, see, I think that's going to happen no matter what. It's just a matter of fact of will it turn to an official quote-unquote match.
Goldberg. Austin stays up in the product. Goldberg just went 5 minutes for the Universal title with Roman Reigns. You think Austin wants to go just a minute, and the guy he was compared to for years and years and years is doing 5 minutes and making $50 million or something for that one match?
I can see it happening. I know Austin. I know Austin. Like I said, the scenario I just said is going to happen. It's just a matter of, will it be an official match?
It's going to get stretched over 6 minutes.
Okay. The over under 6 minutes. The over under 6 minutes. And go past Owens and Austin. Edge, I thought, was incredible.
Edge has been on point. New music's awesome. He needs to keep doing these promos every week because he needs to turn everyone against him, and I think he needs to turn like the hardcore fans or a portion of them against him, because It was almost one of those where I'm like, man, there's really no storyline. They can just hype up this match, and it can be about one-upsmanship, two guys about I'm just better, I'm better, and they don't. I'm better than you, you're better than like just an argument like that. It didn't have to be heel and face, but he's showing why he is such a good heel.
Yeah, because on Raw he was talking about how he was trying to please the people and how pleasing them messed him. Basically blaming the fans for his failures. How he allowed Seth Rollins to cost him the Universal title. How they allowed Rollins up in his house, and he called Roman Reigns a Jason Momoa cosplayer. And to think when you actually go back to look at Edge's time since he's been back for the last 2 years, we didn't do a Maddie's in 2020, but like if you actually account for it, he's been in some of the top rivalries of the year since he's been back. And,
for sure, and he's the biggest draw in the promotion.
Yeah, and like I thought that promo was really good that he cut it, and he changed his music. You said last episode that we had, he's one of those guys that could turn be heel and then be face the next week because the fans will actually believe it and buy into it, and you could see that on Raw he was having a lot of fun actually finally being a heel again because Edge went away to Hollywood. He did a few acting shows. He was on Vikings. So I heard an interview with him 2 years ago when he first come back and how he wanted to implement certain characters into his character. Like when he had the first time he had the gray beard and all that stuff, he talked about Old Man Logan. And you can kind of see a lot of that in what he was doing. So there's been a lot of progression in Edge, and I'm looking forward to him in this role, especially for AJ Styles. Because AJ Styles for the last 2 years has essentially been nothing. He's been the Intercontinental Champion and a tag champ, but he hasn't been the main event, which he actually was in his first 4 years in the company. So this is like a rejuvenation for AJ Styles, and I'm looking forward to this match. I think this match is definitely going to steal the show because all Edge's matches have stole the show since he's been back.
For sure. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's definitely one of the. It's in like the top. Now again, I'm sure we're gonna get over the weekend. It'll be over 12 matches between the two shows.
Oh yeah, for sure.
2 different nights. It's in the top 4, if not. I mean, with a little bit of disrespect to the match, I don't just want to say it's top 5, but no, it's probably in the top 3 most important matches. Out of the card, we already know World Championship, 2 women's titles, nothing about either tag title. That match, I guess, it's already in the top 4 most important.
Yeah, the Street Profits. The Street Profits they're taking on RK Bro.
Cool. All right, true.
And then the Usos are taking on.
With all due respect, you already are probably more interested in what Edge and AJ is going to do over the Raw Tag Title match.
Oh yeah, Edge and AJ Styles. That's my main match because Roman and Brock, although that story has been great, and I'm looking forward to the outcome. I kind of already have an idea of kind of what I'm going to get based off of everything Brock Lesnar has done since he's been back. Even though I'm enjoying him way more now, but I'm still pretty much getting the same thing for the most part. And Edge and AJ Styles, top of the card. That was my most desired match. When we talked about who you wanted Edge to face at WrestleMania, I said AJ Styles. It's definitely a dream match for me. And the WrestleMania card as itself, I don't think it's anything a lot of us will put together. Charlotte and Ronda I have no interest in whatsoever. Becky and Bianca, okay, or whatever. It's going to come to an end.
Say one quick two cents on it. I hope the match delivers. I think it will, but busted open, really try to put over what they've been doing on SmackDown. I hated the whole backstage brawl with the car because 3 years ago they did the same shit, but it was better 3 years ago. Again, different. And I'm not being ageist here, but different elder woman at this point. So, yeah, I hope it delivers. But also, the reason I bring it up, a coworker of mine, not even a casual fan. He's a Pat McAfee mark. He's been watching SmackDown just to see what's going on with him, and he saw the promo, and he's like, he used the term, and we hear it all the time in wrestling, he's like, I really felt like Charlotte Flair, that's Ric Flair's daughter, I really felt like her. Ronda Rousey, she's that face of Ronda Rousey. I felt like they were phoning it in, they were just going, but they were hyping it up. Did something on them? I was like, yeah, they had a little brawl in the back, and like I just personally said, I wasn't that thrilled by it because they did a backstage brawl last time they were feuding, and it was better than what we saw that week with SmackDown. So it's definitely it's one of those things that it could be better. It's one of those things I'm already almost like, all right, cool. I can't wait to see Ronda with the SmackDown belt after Mania and then see what she's going to do next.
Yeah, because I don't even know if Ronda's going to stay. That's the thing. Because like I haven't like I saw what happened with the car thing, but as far as like the context of the feud, I haven't really cared at all. Because first of all, she shouldn't be facing Charlotte in the first place. This is just to please Fox. She should be facing Becky. Becky was the one who won the triple threat, and that's the one who pinned her. So the whole Charlotte thing is just to please Fox for the UFC stuff.
You think Charlotte goes over on Ronda?
I think so. I'm curious. Yeah, because like you said, you feel your coworker from work said looks like they're phoning it in, and that's kind of how I kind of felt about Ronda phoning it in. You told me about her first run a few years ago. Ronda was probably the talk out of most shows, but I haven't heard anybody talk about how great Ronda Rousey was or how great was that Ronda Rousey segment. I haven't. So I don't even think she'll even be around past WrestleMania. She's not even advertised for a lot of like the events. That could.
I think she's advertised for the one immediately after.
Really? Because
I don't know if it's Raw or SmackDown, but either way, she's gonna go vintage 2014 Brock, be the champion. You see her once every 4 weeks.
I hope not.
I hope not, but that's what it's gonna be, without a doubt.
And then what else is going on? And I think that's about it. That's about it because the card it's shaping up, but like I said, not something I will put together. But those are usually the best shows, and I just want to be entertained for 2 days, and I'm pretty sure I am.
So, with all due respect, there's the rumors going around that, I don't know, somebody said they rechanged what they were going to do after the terrible stipulation. Main event of Raw, Owens versus Rollins. Winner gets the segment with Austin. No way Owens isn't losing. Everyone in the crowd assuming Cody's going to come out to challenge Rollins after for Mania. That doesn't happen. Some people say they didn't do that because they didn't want to take away from the passing of Scott Hall. One more swig for the bad guy.
That part I can buy, but I would kind of think they would want that I can buy. But then I was thinking like maybe you want to try to send people home happy.
Oh, I thought the same thing.
I can see both ways. Like there's not nothing wrong with either way.
I love there was a meme and it had like two people watching the TV and it had like WWE Mark watching the end of the match, waiting for Cody to come out. AEW Mark me, reluctantly watching Raw just to see Cody debut. And then in reality, he doesn't show. But
what do you think would be best? If Rollins just shows up and Cody's like a mystery, or would you want Cody to show up on Raw because it's only 2 weeks away?
At this point, I feel like it's got to be a mystery. I feel like announcing it.
Yeah, I agree.
Before, yeah, I don't know. It gives me, and I don't want to tarnish Rollins. And it's not that the build, like, I love Brock. I love what we're getting with Brock, but I feel like a lot of Brock's builds for a lot of his matches were lackluster. Like, it gives me Brock and Rollins vibes from 3 years ago. Like, rushed, not build well. Then what? Like, Rollins wins the title in the first match? I don't know. Like, does that make sense to you? Like, it seems like it's something forgettable. Like, when you think back to Ronda losing the title in the triple threat in the main event at 2 a.m. for Mania, you think that's how Mania ends. You don't, you're like, oh, what else happened that? You're not thinking, oh, yes, when me and you were, like, not, like, driving, the match is starting. Like, remember, we're driving, we're in Delaware.
Yeah, you're watching the show on the phone.
Is beating Brock for the Universal title. R.I.P. to the Red Universal.
Yeah, so, I don't know.
I almost gambled that belt away with Dan last night, by the way.
In pool?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yikes, why?
Huh?
Yikes, why?
Because you're about to gamble away a title. And you might lose.
I wanted his NXT title.
Oh, it's title for title.
I thought, since my Red Universal is more valued, I thought he would have been putting up. I did, however, one more crack at a beer. I did get a signed Scott Hall figure.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. Shout out to the bad guy.
Good for you. But as far as like the Cody thing, I'm not because they're kind of telling a story with Rollins already about his journey to WrestleMania. So if Cody just debuted on the Go Home show, I wouldn't be quite mad because it's like, hey, I'm here. Let's just do this. And so, like I said, like I remember Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit did that one year for WrestleMania 17. It's like, hey, I don't got a match. You don't have a match. Let's have a match. And it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. Like, maybe I would want. I guess it makes sense. Cody's first match back in New York should be Mania, but like, would I like the idea of him like doing this and then like he beats Austin Theory next week, or, like he comes out challenging him and beats like a bunch of Moes 3 weeks in a row, goes over, shows. I don't know. I guess I'm fine with that idea. I don't want to sit through Raw. I don't want. This is the thing that sucks about Mania season. I don't want to sit through Raw. But I also don't want to see his return spoiled on social media. Mm-hmm. Two of the biggest Monday Night Raw returns to me over the past 6 years, the Dudleys, Shane McMahon. I was at the dealership when both of them happened. You spoiled one, and a buddy of mine from the dealership that is a casual fan at best spoiled the Dudleys. You spoiled Shane. I almost want to log off this podcast right now just remembering how pissed I was at you for that.
Sorry.
It's all good. Could be worse. You could have done worse. You've done worse. So, anything else in the realms of the build-up to Mania?
Nothing. I'm just looking forward to watching the show at this point.
All right. Well, two other things I want to get into real quick. What anything you've been watching recently feel noteworthy?
Yeah. So of course I saw Vince on McAfee's show. I thought that was good. Okay. It gave us a nice look at Vince McMahon and the businessman behind it. Everybody thinks he's such an evil person, but people don't understand business is business. And I did enjoy that. And for the first time, I never saw this movie. And I'm glad I saw it now than instead of when it originally came out. I watched The Wrestler for the first time.
Okay.
With Mickey Rourke. So, and I'm glad I appreciate it way more now because growing up, I was like, 17, about to be 18 when this came out. I didn't really know like the behind the scenes of like older wrestlers or whatever. I never actually thought about it that way, so I didn't really see what they go through and how they can work a normal job and take all those painkillers and just work indies all the time. Because me, I'm young, I'm raised on WWE and stuff on TV, so I'm bougie. Still am at this point, but so like I really did definitely enjoy it because I can appreciate it way more now because I know what everybody goes through. So watching him take the painkillers, watching his relationship with his daughter, watching him work at Acme was actually pretty interesting to watch. And him having that itch to finally get back in the ring, and then he's about to die because the doctor said you can't wrestle anymore. And he goes out doing he could barely move, but he goes out doing his finish. And I wish I saw this movie years ago because of Marissa Tomei. If you want to see Marissa Tomei, check out The Wrestler.
Where'd you watch it on?
HBO Max. It's on Hulu. It's on Hulu too. But okay. I did watch it on HBO
I definitely
Max.
Gotta watch it. I know
you never seen it?
Trailer? I don't think I have.
Really? It's a really good movie. I was really impressed. I really enjoyed it.
I think I watched the trailer like a year ago, and then I don't think I had access to whatever app it was on at the time, so I didn't end up watching it. But yeah, it's definitely something I gotta watch. Yeah, I'll admit I never watched Nacho Libre until last year.
Really? I don't think I've seen that either.
Rahul and Michelle have both seen it. I watched it with them.
Yeah, I haven't seen Nacho Libre, but what was I about to say? Because I remember
keep in mind the first wrestling match Michelle probably ever watched. No, she may have caught like a little glimpse of like Dynamite or Raw, like popping in and out of my apartment, but the first match that she sat down and paid attention to was the AEW tag match in the cage, and she's like, "No, I see why you like this crap."
I was there too. I remember that. Yeah, I was there. So, but I remember WWE.
I can't remember.
I remember WWE was like promoting the Wrestler movie heavy, and Mickey Rourke fought Jericho. Did he fight Jericho, or was a part of Jericho's match at WrestleMania 25? And I just never had the urge to watch it, but I was scrolling through HBO Max. What haven't I seen? Like, let me finally actually watch this. It was a really good movie.
Is that the handicap match, Jericho versus Steamboat and someone else?
Yes, I believe so. I'm almost positive.
Underrated Mattel Battle Pack I still need.
The Jericho and Steamboat?
Yeah, the Senior Citizen Steamboat.
Definitely. And this isn't wrestling related, but I watched Bel Air. I'm all caught up. I'm not sure.
All right,
I know you don't like change. I know you don't like your things touched, but I think it's a pretty good show.
I've heard nothing but good things about it. It pisses me off.
Yeah, because Fresh Prince, because people don't, like I said, people don't accept like change or their things tampered with. But I was telling people like the concept of Fresh Prince, it could in real life, it can have a dark take to it, because like I said, this guy he gets in trouble at the park in Philly. So it's like it's like, and the sitcom doesn't touch on this, but it's like, what about those guys at the park? Except that one episode when he did go back to Philly, they changed their lives. But it's like, okay, like this can be taken dark. Will coming in to a home and Carlton being jealous. They hit on the TV show, they would hit Carlton being jealous all the time. That can have a dark turn to it. The stuff with his dad that can have a little bit of a dark turn to it. Did they add some drama to a lot of it? Absolutely. But I do think it's a really good show. I think the kid he pulls off a lot of the young Will Smith mannerisms pretty well. I really think he does, and I think it's a really good.
He pulled the mannerisms off as good as I do.
I haven't seen you do a bunch of them.
Wow. You've never seen me kill a Will Smith line?
I have not. Maybe you have. Maybe you have. I just haven't picked up on it because you don't have a fade. But I think you don't have a black people fade.
I don't have a high top.
Black people, you don't have black hair. You don't have a high top fade either. So I probably never picked up on it. But
why don't you grow one out?
No, I do get a fade, but I'm not getting a high top fade. No, I'm too old for that. But definitely a good show.
Like you are going on 40.
Don't age me by 10 years. But definitely, I do enjoy Bel Air. Yes, I'm 30.
9 and like a cup of coffee. There's a cup of coffee you 31.
9 and a medium Starbucks iced coffee. But definitely a good show. I watched episode 8 before we started recording the show, and definitely a good show. They did definitely hype up the drama, and it is up to date with like today's lingo and technology, and they got a lot of the Philly slang in this show as well. So I'm really enjoying. I'm not sure. You said you didn't start it yet, have you?
I did not. I'm going to.
Yeah, I recommend it. I don't know if you watch it with disdain because it's your Fresh Prince, but definitely a good show.
No, I think I'll be optimistic. Okay. As long as I usually have one of these cold beverages in my hand, it usually helps. As far as me, obviously since we last did a show, I did watch Revolution. I did watch the past 2 weeks of Dynamite. Didn't watch last week's Rampage, but I feel like I watched the week before because it was a rare live episode. And outside of that, due to the unfortunate news Monday evening that Scott Hall had passed away, I did rewatch the Click documentary. I watched that immediately because I was able to watch that in the living room because I had the Click DVD. I thought I had the Razor one. 2 nights ago, I did rewatch the Living on the Razor's Edge WWE produced documentary, just to kind of relive, his story from his troubled past, him as a bouncer, to the unattempted murder. Probably not worded that right, but the murder that was not his plan to cause while on the job, getting into a fight with someone, to everything that went down in WWF, to him showing up as the outsider. And, I forget about how much that, like, I forget, like, I want to remember, like, 2011 when I got back into wrestling. I want to know how quick I got into dirt sheets because it seemed like 2011, 2012 was, like, the years he was really kind of, like, doing the indies and still showing up, like, real lit up. Mm-hmm. And, they document some of that in the WWE documentary. And I remember, like, before him, having the arms open back up to come back into the WWE family, I remember watching those clips. And I really tip my hat that we got another decade out of Scott Hall.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Got close to a decade of him clean. where I remember being 21, 22, thinking, oh man, it seems like, Scott's going to pass. And unfortunately, I don't wish any of these wrestlers died, but we have over a dozen wrestlers who have passed since I thought he was going to. I will humbly admit, this one hit me probably the hardest out of any of them that have ever passed. I remember just stepping out of the fandom and like hearing Eddie pass and hearing Benoit. It's like, I'm not really into this, but like it sucks. Like I love those guys, and I can put it up to like as a kid, like knowing Owen passed, like hearing Pillman pass. But like I wasn't like a Pillman guy, but like Owen that hurt, but he was a bad guy, and I was a kid. He was a heel most of the time, so I didn't really get it. It sucked, but like Hall was the reason. Hall and Nash were the reasons my brothers were flipping the channel on Monday night. They were turning Raw, and I was annoyed. And I was like, all right, cool. Like these guys are cool. And then them coming back to WWE in 2002, I was hoping for the best. We didn't get a long run of Hall back there. The most iconic Hall of Fame speech. I probably have stuttered that speech after a couple of beers, or in this show over the past 6 years. I've been making jokes about it since before having a wrestling tattoo, that I was going to get that quote done, and I love that is what everyone is reposting and retouting. Great line, great quote, great something to live by. Hard work pays off, dreams come true, bad times don't last, bad guys do. It was cool because, we earlier were talking about the reveals. Tomorrow or this weekend we're getting WWE reveals. We're talking about the AEW. And when all this figure collecting began for me, Scott, I think the defining moments Razor is in like my first like 5 figures, or like when it came out. I called it in a Kmart, which like Kmart's even exist anymore. And I remember that's one of the first figures I bought 3 times. Because I still have my mock one. I bought a loose one, and I bought one for my ex's son. So that was like such a dope figure. You and Prep treated me as a birthday gift, redesigned the artwork, and made it.
I forgot all about that.
It's
forgot all about that.
It's hanging in my room. Man, it's crazy because I think back to 2016. I lost my phone from that, where I have most of my pictures, but I met a bunch of wrestlers at a collector's convention, and I skipped a few people because of an unnamed wrestler I had a bad interaction with. I was like, I don't know how I feel about these. And I don't know how many times that like I went to these things and I brought like a bunch of belts I would get signed, or a bunch of figs, and due to lines and due to like socializing with friends and pounding beers, like I'm not going to go blow money and do it. And I remember like the Outsiders were there and they had a crazy line, and I brought like a couple of Hall's figures, and I brought both WCW tags, and I didn't do the line. And then when COVID hit, I sold 2 mock Razor Ramon Scott Hall figures, but I kept the defining moments and the black and white ringside figure, and I was like, I'm going to meet him one day. Now, obviously, a year prior, there was a second opportunity, just him, no Nash, and I passed. I didn't bring nothing with me for Scott to sign. So I was lucky. I did mention earlier, I did just acquire a ringside black and white NWO Scott Hall sign, but it's crazy because it's one of those, like, damn, I really regret not doing those meet and greets when I had the chance. Obviously, I hope, there's plenty of people that have passed away that Mattel has given us new figures from. Hopefully, we finally get that WrestleMania 10 Razor, make it ultimate.
I think that was on the horizon too. I believe I'm almost positive that I saw a leak that we're supposed to get a Nash and a Hall
as ultimates.
I believe so. I could be wrong, but I could have sworn.
Well, I hope it's a Razor, and I would love a red ultimate. It's funny, and So I did do a cool pick, and I did put it on our podcast page. I have all eight Mattel Scott Halls, Razor Ramon figures, and I was sitting there thinking about it all day because I was like, I'm going to dig out these figs, and I'm like, I think it's 7. And every time I kept seeing someone post a pick, 3, 4, or 5, I'm like, cool. I'm gonna have a better pick. And when I pulled them out, I'm like, damn, there's 8 of these. And then I was doing it. I'm like, man. So Elite 16, Kevin Nash. I had that signed, but I didn't open it. And then I passed her one of his diesels because it's like, how many diesels do you need? Like the diesels, like the gears, usually so similar. But Scott's always a little different. That, to me, it's easy to want to be a completist of him. All 8 Mattel figures, great. I could probably ramble on or keep stumbling. But again, RIP to the bad guy. Your thoughts on the passing of the great Scott Hall?
Yeah, I'm almost positive about this. I remember I could have sworn I saw somebody posting a wrestling group that he had like an upcoming sign-in and he canceled it because of hip surgery or whatever. I'm almost positive I saw something like that, but it was shocking because he was definitely a story of perseverance. Because like you just talked about his alcohol addiction, you would think that would have been like the cause of it, but it wasn't. He actually got himself together, and I believe when we started this show, or a little before we started this show, he's didn't DDP document DDP yoga with him?
Yeah,
and so that's something that I want to watch now, because if you saw pictures of Scott Hall, he did not look good at all.
No.
Prior to that, even in like I believe in like 2010 and 2009, he was still wrestling in TNA and didn't look good at all either. But definitely like a great story to actually tell somebody who actually defeats their demons. And I was in shock because it's like, really, like this guy, really? Scott Hall, really? Razor Ramon, really? Like, as a kid, it's just like, some stuff is like cheesy, but as a kid, it's just like, oh, I like him. Like, he's cool. Like, he was like the definition of cool. There's a few people that you would say that it's like,
yes,
he was cool. And go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so like you can agree to this, like outside of like the biggest names, outside of Steve, Shawn, The Rock, Flair, Hogan, and I loosely put Hogan into that. Outside of world champion, nobody that is still breathing can pass away and is going to have the reaction of not just the wrestling world, but the regular world. The culture came out for him.
Oh yeah, they did.
Everyone loves him. Everyone. It was on ESPN. This like hip hop culture came out for him. Everyone, the streets were out and appreciating and paying homage. People I know that are into vintage clothes, sneakers, people I grew up with, people that like are not casual fans. They don't watch one wrestling show a year, and they're like, "R.I.P. Chico." Like it was dope. It was cool for me to see that.
Yeah. So, like I said, he was like the definition of cool. Like, especially when, like, for me, like me and you, like we're 6, 7, 8-year-old kids, and we're still kind of into like kiddie stuff. Like I'm still like into Power Rangers and cartoons and all this other stuff. But it's like there's like this other like this adult that's like, okay, like he's cool. So I could always like it was him, Nash, and DX in Austin in The Rock. You like those guys are cool. Like I want to be like them. Like I want that shirt he's wearing. I'm gonna do the airplane walk. I'm gonna do that. I want a toothpick in my mouth. That's what it was with him. And I as you know, I'm not a big meet and greet guy. I'm real awkward at those because at times like you put the stuff on the table.
You've done way more of them than I have.
What was that?
You've done way more of them than I have.
Really? Well, I may have been, but I don't always get autograph SIGs. I don't. So like,
what are you, more of a pick guy?
What was that?
What are you, more of a picture
I
guy?
was more when I first started going. I was more of a pick guy, but like I would always get the combos. Like you might as well just get the combo.
For sure.
The belt signed, and
I wish I'd done more of the pictures. The pictures in hindsight, I feel like it's the good memory to have.
Yeah.
Like, is it cool that I have a big sign of Paul? Like, and I accept it because I was there the day Dan acquired the signature. That's why it's acceptable to me. Like I don't want to go on eBay, or I don't want to do a trade. Oh, you have something signed, like a Razor Ramon or something. Like I don't want to acquire it. Like to me, this is cool because like I was 10 yards away from Dan while he got it signed, so I was like there. It makes it a little more, I don't know, acceptable to me. But Like, one thing I cherish is you did a combo. Actually, I don't even think you did. I don't know. Maybe you did a combo. I could be wrong. Do you remember when you met Cody or what you paid for?
I don't. I know I got the belt signed, but I'm not sure if you got it. I'm not sure. Hold up. I'm not sure if we split it and we both got in a picture, or what. But I know I paid for. I know I have an autograph.
I'm 99% sure this is what happened. It was a Ring of Honor show?
Yes.
Ring of Honor show. Me and you go up to Cody. You're getting a belt signed. I am lit. I am lit. And we've been hearing it for years that Cody looks like my cousin. So I go up to Cody.
I still have that video. I think I still have that video. I still have
Cody, it. And Cody's signing your white IC belt. And I was like, look, man, just want to, like, thank you. I think my line just was, I want to thank you because you're making wrestling cool again. And I was like, but this is going to sound really weird. And I was like, I got a guy cousin, you look just like, and I was like, chick I was dating at the time always said it, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, oh, okay. And Cody looked at me and he's like, well, is he good looking? And I was sitting there and I was like, so on the spot. I was like, well, we were young growing up. He always did good with wet ladies. He's like, well, that's not so bad after all. I'm like, he had the Ring of Honor, the current Ring of Honor world belt. And he's like, hey, do you want to see this? And I'm like, I'm complimenting the belt. I think I thanked him about bringing the classic IC title design back. And he's just like, hey, I'm not supposed to tell anyone, but they're debuting a new belt design.
Yeah, he gave us our first scoop.
So he signs your belt, and then he's like, what's your name? And I was like, Eric. He grabs an 8x10 of himself, signs to Eric. I have a signed.
Oh, really? I didn't see that part.
I still have it. It's one of the. I have a handful of 8x10s. And at one point, because of the pro wrestling crate, I had 50 of them, but I think I've kept 6. So Cody, I have him, to Eric, signed by Cody. And then he's like, hey, so this your boy? I was like, yeah. He's like, let's take a picture. So you have your IC belt just signed by him. I have his Ring of Honor belt, and we have a picture of 3 of us. And I cherish that picture because it's so dope how everything went, but I always feel guilty because it's like, I don't know how many times I can't find it in my photo album over the years, over the past 4 years, 5 years, however long it's been since that picture. I don't know how many times I've texted you, can you send me the picture of me, you, and Cody?
Do you need it again?
Nah.
Okay.
I'll ask you in 2 weeks. To text it to me.
Because like I don't remember. I don't remember what I paid for it. It wasn't expensive. I know that.
I'm pretty sure it was just a signature. I mean, maybe you did, and maybe he already knew it, but I'm pretty sure he just, like, combo was good, the vibe was good, and he's good at the signs, and he's just like, let's rock.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so, like, I
hijacked your photo op. Right.
Won't be the first time. We have a couple of nice pictures with a couple of guys. So, like I said, I've been at conventions with Scott Hall. Like, we were vending at a couple of them, a couple icons, so he has been there, so I never went over there and spoke to him or anything like that, but
he always had one of the biggest lines in the house.
Oh yeah, him and Nash always had the longest lines for sure. Mm-hmm. But it kind of got me thinking, like, maybe I gotta kind of stop being like socially awkward sometimes, just peek in and say hey, whatever. Because these guys at these cons, they'll actually like talk to you.
While you say you're socially awkward, because next week Icons, I plan on going. Hardys are there. You can't say that you're socially awkward because my hindsight is me and you went up together, met the Hardys. I'm embarrassed though. Me and Jeff are socially awkward. Then you and Matt are in character, and it is the most marked out moment I've ever seen of you. You and Matt are screaming, Hardy guns. Jeff's over there like, I'm sitting there. I put like one belt down. I got one around my waist. I'm sitting there, I'm smirking. I'm like, does my cut look good? Like, I look like crap in the picture. Jeff looks like he's just fine in the picture. He just looks like he don't want to be there. And then you and Matt are on another different playing field.
Yeah, great, good times at that place, definitely.
Speaking of some indie shows and Dynamite, Hardy's debut match, Jeff is wearing his last Mattel Elite, the top picks gear. So I got to mock one of those. I plan on getting him to sign.
Oh, that's cool. But definitely I'm gonna stop kind of like whenever I do go back to these cons because I'm kind of out of like autographs and sigs for the most part. But however I go,
any chance you do Icons next week?
No, I can't. I gotta work, and it's Angel's birthday, so
that's a good reason for you to go.
Yeah. So Yeah, like,
That's a pop for the boys.
yeah. So I definitely like next time I come, I'll just like even if I don't buy anything, I don't think a lot of these guys really like dependent. Oh, Virgil, of course, but anybody they don't really think they're gonna like push you to buy anything. But definitely wish I did. I haven't gone through the rabbit hole or revisited any matches or anything, but definitely the SummerSlam ladder match and the WrestleMania ladder match with Shawn always stands out. I think one of his more underrated matches was with Brett, I believe at the Rumble for the world title in '93, I think. And
Something else underrated, top 3 to ever sell the Stunner.
oh, definitely. And his match with his stuff with Goldust because of the whole polar opposites thing, I thought was really good. So R.I.P. Scott Hall, definitely like shocking. I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. And I said, like just like you, I enjoyed seeing all the pictures, all the studio shots of him with the beautiful black '90s IC title.
Mm.
And I was a little upset because now one of the shirts I was looking for was that Outsiders image T-shirt, and it was already hard to find as it is. But now, forget about it.
Well, I'm a supporter of the bootleg merch, and tomorrow that there's a Fly ECW shirt of him going over the sale. I'm all over that.
Oh yeah, I'm in the bootlegs as well, but it's just the reprints that get me, and it's a reprint.
True.
So like that. That's
that ECW is not a reprint.
No, it's not. It's a bootleg.
Oh, yeah.
Bootlegs are cool with me. I have a lot of them, but definitely just a sad thing to actually deal with. And I did have FOMO because I was holding out on buying this, but I did end up buying it. I saw a lot of people playing WWE 2K22 and posting Razor and Scott Hall. I had some GameStop points in cash, so I ended up buying it.
Got it.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet, huh?
You got a physical copy?
It was sold out.
Oh,
nobody had them.
I just swung by Dan's to pick up my signed Scott Hall. So I did see he was playing it. I did watch a couple entrances. It upset my stomach to see it in the Thunderdome or whatever the hell it was called.
They have that arena in the regular arena too.
Yeah. Cool. I look forward to seeing more of that. The Steve Weiser's running through me. So I didn't open the show properly, but there's a few things to mention. As I said, I just got that 2015-esque. Yeah, 2015 Scott Hall NWO ringside. So I was just on ringside getting a protective case story. And you know what I used? I typed in M Madness. I saved 10%. You should do the same. There's something you're itching to buy on ringside.
As always.
Into this, just scroll up on your phone, go to the Safari tab. Just make sure when you're checking out, use code M Madness. Save your 10%.
Yeah, and if you're watching on YouTube, smash that like button and subscribe, please.
Smash that like twice, and we've been saying in the past we're going to get more content on there. That's bound to happen. Again, this tonight, in the name of Scott Hall, the bad guy, Razor Ramon. This was me, the bad guy, X2 Fly, my Kevin Nash, Balo, ATM, Aaron Lloyd, Aaron Beckett, the real outsiders. Matt Madness used to be like 7 of us, and we the last 2 standing. One more for the good guys.